Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy 2022. In today's video, we're going to be talking about all the ways that I am resetting, refreshing, and restarting for the new year. My last few weeks of 2021 were kind of all over the place. I got sick, I got in a small fender bender accident, and also had a huge snowstorm here in DC, and it really affected a lot of my goals for the end of the year. It affected my budget, it affected a ton of things, but one thing it is not going to affect is my ability to reset for the new year. Although it is already January 8th when I'm recording this, that does not mean it is too late to start fresh for 2022. If you're like me, you have a really big connection to the concept of the new year. January 1st for me is usually a huge deal. I last year actually took off New Year's Eve and New Year's Day for my 9-to-5 job specifically so I could spend the whole entire 2 days planning out my life and setting myself up for success in 2021. Now, although the new year has already passed, it does not mean that it is too late to do this. So I wanted to share with you guys what I am doing a week late into 2022 to reset, reflect, and plan for the new year. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. This video is specifically going to be more of a bulleted list looking at the activities that I am going to be doing this year. It's kind of a combination between activities that my favorite creators do, activities that I've learned from books that I've read over the years, and then things that I've always just done at the beginning of the new year. So I always start out by reflecting on the previous year, and I've done something different every single year with this. Sometimes I use the exercises that are in a planner that I purchased for the new year. Sometimes I just look up different journal prompts to reflect on the previous year. This year I got a newsletter from Elizabeth Phillips. She is a content creator here on YouTube, and she shared a long reflection prompt exercise to reflect on 2021 and do kind of like a little annual review. She did make a Notion template for it, and she shared that on her newsletter website. So I will share her profile for her newsletter in the description below so you guys can access this as well. But that is what I will be using for 2021. So I basically took that template and I just slightly adjusted it to fit my personal style, and I put it into my Notion, and I will be answering all of those questions to reflect on the previous year. So the next thing I like to do is kind of think about my intentions or my focus for the new year. I look over my reflections from 2021, which is always a good way to get me in the headspace of brainstorming what I want this new year to look like. What I'll be doing this year is setting a overall focus word for the entire year, and then kind of breaking that down into monthly intentions or monthly focuses that I want to basically consider each month whenever I'm planning out my goals. Now, this definitely can change throughout the year. I did this a few years back and really liked it, and then about 3 months into that year, the vid hit and everything changed because what I wanted to focus on each month was now very different because I really couldn't focus on those things anymore. If you don't know, I left my job in 2021, and me and my husband currently live in Washington, DC, but we're moving in 2 months, so we have a lot of change coming. And when I last did this exercise of doing monthly intentions, it was the year that I actually moved up to Washington, DC and started my 9-to-5 job. So I had a lot of change in that year, which is why I wanted to set those monthly intentions, and I have a lot of change this year. So I'm doing that process again and hoping that this year nothing crazy happens to throw all of that to the wind, but we'll see, you know? The point of making a plan is not to force yourself to stick to it. It's to just have an idea of what you want to do in the year and then rolling with the punches as time goes. So what I like to do is make this in my Notion so that as the year goes on, if I need to like adjust those monthly intentions and move them to different months because of whatever's happening in my life, then I can easily do that and still make sure that I focus on the things that I wanted to focus on throughout the year. So around the same time that I'm setting these focus words, these monthly intentions, I will be creating a vision board. Now, I have never created a vision board in the past. I have always been a very like data-driven person. I don't usually like to look at like pictures to inspire me. So a vision board never really appealed to me in that way. But I recently watched a few videos by Michelle B about making a vision board. I will link her most recent vision board exercise video in the description below for you guys. But she talked about actually adding data-driven metrics into your vision board. So for example, I might have my bank account and then have a number that I put on top of what my current bank account number is to show now I have X amount of dollars saved in my bank account. Or I could show my retirement account and, you know, cover up the current number and put a larger number. Basically, any way I can see a data-driven number that looks like what the actual account looks like to inspire me and get my head in that space of actually being able to have that in my life. Another one I'll definitely be doing is my YouTube channel, my subscriber numbers. I definitely want to envision having more subscribers on my channel throughout my vision board by setting up my channel and saying like, okay, by the end of the year, I want to have 10,000 subscribers and this is what that would look like. So ever since I saw the idea of bringing data-driven metrics into your vision board, I was much more interested in the idea. So I'm going to combine a mix of my intentions, my focus word, and the data-driven metrics for my goal planning all into my vision board, as well as making it aesthetic, because I do enjoy aesthetics at the end of the day, and we are moving, so we will have a lot of like lifestyle changes. So I think the idea of creating a vision board will actually benefit me a lot this year. So I'm looking forward to it. My plan is to have like a digital vision board on my iPhone screen using widgets and photo albums, and then have a digital vision board as the wallpaper for my laptop. And then lastly, potentially making a physical vision board. I'm gonna say I'm probably not gonna make the physical vision board because that's just not really my vibe, but you know, we'll see. I might do that. So pick for you what works best, like where the vision board is going to be seen most often, and that's where you should create it. So for me, that's my phone and my computer background. I look at those things pretty often, so I think that would be the best place for me to put it. So next, after I've reflected on 2021, I've created my vision board, I have my yearly focus, my monthly intentions, I can actually start to set my actionable goals. So I actually already made a video talking about my 2022 financial goals, but I will also be creating personal and business and all sorts of other goals for 2022. I'll be sharing that as well in a future video, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to hear more about that. But I do want to set some very actionable goals for just my overall life besides just like my financial situation. Once I have those actionable goals for both my personal life, my finances, and my business, then I want to turn those into habits and systems so that they're truly actionable goals. Because at the end of the day, it's good to have like smart goals or like, you know, realistic goals that have like an actual number associated with them. But if you don't actually set yourself up to achieve that through like the systems and habits that you do on a day-to-day basis, there's really no point in having the goal in the first place. The next step for me would be to look at all of those goals and say, what would I need to be doing in my daily life to actually reach those goals by the end of the year? That is the most fun part of planning for the new year. It does take the most time because you have to sit down and creatively think about all of your goals. But what I find works the best is if there's any goals that are more focused on a specific month. So off the top of my head, here's a great example. We're going to be moving in March of 2022. So we have about 2 months until then. And a big goal of mine is to make the moving process as seamless as possible, keep our budget low, all of those things. And to do all of that, I'm going to need to like declutter the entire apartment, figure out all of the moving logistics, decide on our budget for moving, save up for that budget, all of these actionable steps. But I don't necessarily need to plan all of that out right now. It would be more beneficial for me to focus on the goals that need to be conducted throughout every single month of the year, or specifically January. You get the gist. If I have a goal that is only applicable in, say, September, it really doesn't make sense for me to sit down and outline out how to achieve that goal now, because who knows what my life's going to be like in September. It makes a lot more sense for me to have a monthly intention for September of, say, meeting new people and, you know, putting more hobbies into my life, something like that. Worry about that in, you know, August, the month before, when I'm doing my planning for September. So don't go too in depth with this, but again, I'll be talking about all of this in a future video. So if you are looking to go through this process with me, then just make sure to stay tuned for that video. And then the last thing that I want to do for the new year is to clean out my master to-do list, which a master to-do list is a concept I gathered from Michelle B, and I'm pretty sure it's from the book Getting Things Done. I actually personally have not read that book. It's on my book reading list. I really want to read it. I just have not gotten to it yet. But the idea is to basically brainstorm all of the to-do items you have them in an organized master to-do list that you can categorize, have different tags for and everything. And I have all of that in my Notion. But the thing is, I really have not cleaned that out in a long time. So I want to go back in, mark off the things that I have completed, take out the things that no longer need to be done, and then do a huge brain dumping brainstorming session using my brain dump trigger list that I got from Michelle B and some other sources and combined all together to make one that works best for me. If you guys are interested in that list, I will share it in a link in the description below for you guys. But basically, I want to do a huge brain dump of all the things that are in my head, because I do have a lot of things in my head lately, because we do have a lot of change coming up. Then once I've done that and I have all my goals, I have my brain dumped master to-do list that's all updated. I can actually tag my to-do list appropriately with, like, you know, this is an urgent item, this can be done much later, all of those types of things. So that would be my last goal to plan for the new year. That is everything I will be doing to plan for 2022 and set myself up for success. It is not too late to to do this, we can still do it all throughout January. If anything, I think this is going to be an interesting experiment to see, because a lot of times with Christmas and the holidays, I'm really busy in December, like I'm sure a lot of you are. I'm visiting family, seeing friends, all of that stuff. You're worrying about buying presents and everything. And then the holidays are over and you have like 1 week until the beginning of the new year to like rush and do all of your planning and all of your reflecting and everything, which sometimes is realistic and you can get it done, but sometimes it's just really not. So I am curious to see if this is a better planning year for me, if I kind of gave myself the full month of January to actually truly reflect and reset for the new year. Let me know in the comments down below, when do you usually do your New Year's planning? Do you do it before the new year? Do you do it at the beginning of the new year? If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to follow along for all of the New Year's content I have coming in the next few months. But that is all I have for you guys in today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.